Welcome to Knowledge Hub.
I never thought I'd find myself in a place like this, but here I am, standing on the edge of a nightmare. My name is Giant, and I'm a man drowning in debt. My family? They left me when I needed them most, abandoning me to care for my sick mother alone. Every day was a struggle, watching her health decline while I fought off creditors like they were wolves at the door. Desperation can drive a person to do unimaginable things. And that's how I ended up here, in this deadly game with 500 others, all of us desperate for a way out. The rules are simple. Make a mistake, and you're executed by a robot. It's surreal, really. The tension in the air is thick enough to cut with a knife. I remember the first game vividly. The fear, the chaos, the sound of gunfire echoing in my ears. I thought I was going to die that day, but I didn't. I survived, and with each round, I felt a piece of my humanity slip away. I had to betray others to stay alive, and that betrayal weighed heavily on my conscience. One moment stands out the most. An old man, a cancer patient, who had become my ally. I watched him struggle, and I knew he was a good man. But when it came down to it, I chose my life over his. I can still hear his voice, pleading for help as I turned my back. I won the game, but at what cost? The guilt gnawed at me, a constant reminder of the lives I sacrificed for my own survival. Then everything changed. I learned that the old man was alive. Not just alive, but the mastermind behind this twisted game. He orchestrated it all for entertainment, watching us suffer for his amusement. Anger surged through me. How could he play with our lives like we were nothing more than pawns in a sick game? I felt betrayed, not just by him, but by the entire system that allowed this to happen. Meanwhile, there's Jun-ho, a police officer searching for his missing brother. He infiltrates the game, hoping to gather evidence, but what he finds is far worse than he could have imagined. His brother, the very person he was trying to save, is the front man of this horrific operation. The betrayal cuts deep, and Jun-ho is thrown into the depths of despair, just like I was. This game isn't just about survival. It's a reflection of our darkest instincts. It reveals how far we're willing to go when pushed to the brink. I've seen the worst of humanity, and I've been a part of it. Now, as I stand here, I can't help but wonder, was it worth it? Did I really win, or did I just lose a part of myself that I can never get back? I can't shake the feeling that the new game is just around the corner, lurking in the shadows, waiting to ensnare the next group of desperate souls. I've seen what it does to people, how it twists them into something unrecognizable, driven by survival at any cost. I refuse to let that happen again. I'm determined to stop it, to expose the darkness behind this twisted spectacle. Then there's Jun-ho. He's a survivor, just like me, but he's on a different mission, searching for his brother, lost in the chaos of it all. We've formed an unlikely alliance, two people bound by our shared trauma and a common goal. Together, we're gathering evidence, piecing together the puzzle of who's behind this madness. Every clue we uncover feels like a step closer to the truth, but it also pulls us deeper into a web of danger and deceit. And then there's Neil. She's caught in a heartbreaking struggle, trying to save a sick child. Her desperation leads her into the game, and I can't help but feel a sense of urgency to protect her. She's brave, but this world is merciless. I see the fire in her eyes, the determination to fight against the odds, and it fuels my resolve. We can't let the game consume her too. As we dig deeper, the betrayals start to surface. Friends become foes, and trust becomes a luxury we can't afford. Each revelation shakes us to our core, reminding us that the creators of this game are not just faceless villains. They're people with their own motives, driven by greed and a thirst for power. The stakes are higher than we ever imagined, and the consequences of our actions weigh heavily on our shoulders. Tracking down the front man is our next move. He's the puppet master, orchestrating this nightmare from behind the scenes. But how do you confront a ghost? Every lead we follow seems to lead us in circles, and the closer we get, the more dangerous it becomes. It's a game of cat and mouse, and we're running out of time. Survival isn't just about staying alive. It's about holding on to our humanity in a world that tries to strip it away. Each decision we make tests our morals, forcing us to confront what we're willing to sacrifice. The deeper we dive into this conspiracy, the more we realize that the true horror lies not just in the game itself, but in the choices we make when faced with impossible odds. As the season unfolds, I know one thing for certain. We can't let fear dictate our actions. We have to fight back not just for ourselves, but for everyone who's been caught in this nightmare. The game may be ruthless, but so are we. Together, we'll shine a light on the darkness and reveal the truth behind the Squid Game. It's time to take a stand. I never thought I'd find myself back in this twisted game. I swore I was done, that I'd escaped the nightmare. But here I am, compelled to step back into the chaos, believing I can stop the horrors that await. It's not just about survival anymore. It's about saving others from the fate I narrowly avoided. Tracking Gi-hun to the game's location was no easy feat. He's confused, drowning in debt, and desperate enough to consider the unthinkable. I remember the first time I saw him sign that contract, the weight of his decision hanging in the air. The rules are simple yet brutal. Play or die. And the prize money? It's a siren's call, luring in the vulnerable and the reckless. When Gi-hun reunites with his old friend, I can see the flicker of hope in his eyes. He tries to warn him, to pull him back from the edge, but the allure of the game is powerful. I can't blame them. I've been there. The thrill, the adrenaline, it's intoxicating. But they don't understand the true stakes. They think they can outsmart the system, but the game is rigged. As the first round begins, I watch Gi-hun attempt to guide the players, his voice steady, but the tension is palpable. Chaos erupts when a shot rings out, and everything spirals into madness. A player drops, and the reality of our situation hits hard. Fear spreads like wildfire, and Gi-hun's authority is questioned. They don't see the knowledge he possesses, the experience he carries. In that moment, he has to prove himself. He steps up, sharing strategies, revealing the hidden dangers of the game. It's a race against time, and every second counts. But even as he fights to regain control, the panic escalates. Players are scrambling, some frozen in fear, others rushing blindly into danger. Then it happens. Kat, a player who had just begun to find her footing, is shot by Nong, a sniper lurking in the shadows. The sight is haunting. One moment, she's alive, full of potential, and the next, she's gone. The reality of this game is unforgiving. It's not just a test of skill, it's a brutal reminder of mortality. As I watch Gi-hun grapple with the loss, I realize he's not just fighting for himself anymore. He's fighting for everyone, trying to make sense of the chaos and find a way to survive. The game has a way of stripping away illusions, revealing the raw truth of human nature. In this twisted arena, alliances will form, betrayals will unfold, and the line between friend and foe will blur. But one thing is certain, Gi-hun won't back down. He's determined to navigate this nightmare, to protect those who can't protect themselves. And as the game continues, I can only hope he finds a way to turn the tide before it's too late.
I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. Every corner of this twisted facility feels like it's closing in on me. Jin-ho, my friend, is out there somewhere, and I can't help but think about how we ended up in this nightmare. The Squid Game facility isn't just a place, it's a labyrinth of fear and desperation. I've seen what happens to those who lose. Death isn't just a possibility, it's a certainty for many. As I wander through the dimly lit corridors, the weight of the new rules hangs heavy in the air. We've been given a choice: stay and fight for our lives or vote to leave this hellhole. It's a cruel twist, really. The idea of freedom feels like a distant dream, yet the fear of what lies ahead keeps us tethered to this place. I can hear the whispers of my fellow players, their voices a mix of hope and dread. Some want to escape, while others are too terrified to turn their backs on the game. Gi-hun, my closest ally, stands firm in his belief that we should leave. I can see the desperation in his eyes, the way he clings to the idea of freedom. But when the time comes to vote, the room is filled with tension. The split is palpable. Half of us want to run, to reclaim our lives, while the other half is paralyzed by fear. It's a gamble, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Then, there's the frontman. He's been lurking in the shadows, disguised as one of us. It's chilling to think that the very person who orchestrates our suffering is among us, watching our every move. When the votes are counted and the tension reaches its peak, he steps forward. The room falls silent. His decision will seal our fate. I can't help but feel the weight of his gaze as he deliberates. What does he want? Does he thrive on our fear? The power he holds is intoxicating, and in that moment, I realize we're not just players. We're pawns in a game that's far beyond our understanding. As he raises his hand, I brace myself for the outcome. Will we be granted a chance to escape? Or are we doomed to continue this deadly charade? The air is thick with uncertainty, and I can feel my heart racing. Whatever happens next, I know one thing for sure. The choices we make here will haunt us forever. The game is far from over, and the real battle is just beginning. If you enjoy what you see, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support means the world and helps us create even more amazing content for you.